How is Michigan this bad at cheating? Now, I'm not talking about the one thing. I'm talking about multiple things now that's going on at Michigan. We saw at the beginning of the season that Jim Harbaugh uh, has served a university-imposed three-game suspension. It was going to be four for alleged recruiting violations during COVID and for not cooperating with NCAA investigators. Then this week, Michigan is alleged by someone in the Big Ten, if not multiple folks, that of stealing signals. So, tracking opponents, what they're signaling on the side on offensive defense. You can't always see that on television. So it's completely permissible to steal signs. It's not permissible to go in person to look at these things. So that's been a rule for about 30 years or so, not quite 30 years. So the Big Ten has acknowledged that there's an NCAA investigation going on at Michigan. And I guess what I'd like to know is, how are you this bad at it? Like there's been accusations inside the league now, inside the Big Ten for a little bit of time that Michigan's been doing this. And I just, we never hear about this in the SEC. And there's a couple of reasons why, I think. First of all, either everybody's legitimately doing it, and what I mean by that is everybody's doing it, not in a legitimate way, or and no one, it's just part of the game, or no one's doing it, or people are doing it and no one's saying anything. So my suspicion is it's one of those three, if not a combination. The Big Ten, you need to remember, has a particular nose in the air about itself, and those are some great schools up there, but I can assure you the SEC has great schools. Vanderbilt, Florida, Georgia, Texas A&M, these are all very good schools, okay? In the Big Ten, we are constantly lectured about and by the Big Ten about sports and academics and all this stuff. And it's going wild up there right now. Not just right now, but just generally speaking. Michigan State, Michigan, I don't need to go through the litany of legitimate problems that have happened at the Big Ten in just this last 15 years. So it's stunning to me that Jim Harbaugh has gotten caught, apparently, or being alleged to have gotten caught at this. To my question is, how is he this bad at this? Like, if you're going to cheat, shouldn't you really be good at it? Listen. I've been in the SEC since, obviously, covering it now for almost a quarter century. There are people that are good at it. There are people that are not as good at it. But no one's getting busted like this guy. What are you doing up there, man? What is this going to throw off the season for Michigan? It doesn't necessarily seem like it. But man, if Michigan's arch rival obviously is Ohio State, right? We all know that. I think anybody that's watched sport, I watch sport. Anybody that's watched sport or message boarded over the last 20, 30 years knows Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State is the most paranoid bunch of people I've ever been around in my entire life of covering teams. They are paranoid. Now, Kirby and them are different, but they're not paranoid. Ohio State's paranoid. That's your arch rival. And you're doing this stuff? You're getting caught unnecessarily doing this stuff. What are you doing? Well, this is all allegedly, right? All of this is allegedly. No one's accusing Alabama of it. No one's pointing the finger at Florida State right now. How about USC? Oklahoma? No, it's just Michigan right now. And with a bullet. What is going on? You've got a really good program up there right now. There's only two teams in the last 2 years who have gone to play in the college football playoff: Georgia and Michigan. That's it. And now Michigan is not only having its head coach suspended by the school because of fear of NCAA coming back on them, Now the Big Ten is involved, not just the NCAA. Well, I want to just be real clear. The NCAA notified Michigan officials and the Big Ten on Wednesday that is investigating that the Wolverines were stealing signs, according to a report from Yahoo. Michigan allegedly had people attending future opponents' games, as well as those of potential college football playoff opponents, to gather information about the team's signals for offensive and defensive plays that are sent from the sideline. The NCAA's investigation also includes games prior to the 2002 season, sources told ESPN. Now, I'm just going to tell you, Georgia's played 2 road games, all right? One in Nashville and one at Auburn. It would be extremely easy, specifically in Nashville, to go and steal the signs. It just would be. And here's why. Although that ticket was relatively expensive, to be honest with you, anybody could go in there. There's just so many available seats. With all the chaos of this past week, a week ago, there's no way anybody would be able to tell. I mean, what, you're filming something with your phone? I'm like, who even pays attention to that stuff? Well, apparently somebody does. Okay, we don't know who turned this in. If you don't think that Georgia is a potential college football playoff opponent for Michigan, did you miss the Orange Bowl a season and a half ago? I would not at all be surprised if it turns out that Michigan is alleged to have recorded Georgia's games. And it would not surprise me at all. Doing it at Auburn, that's trickier. To be honest with you, the easiest place to do it would be in Nashville, because at Auburn, and Georgia, but at Auburn specifically, the stands are further away from the field. And at Auburn, at Vandy, you're pretty tight on top of the field, so you could get them no problem. I mean, this could wreck Michigan's season, not just now, but after the fact too. You talk about they've had an easy schedule, and they have. But, I mean, like, what are you doing that this is what you're doing? It's amazing to me that it's amazing to me that this has even come up. Sources told ESPN that the NCAA is investigating allegations that stem from before the 2023 season. So impacted games that Michigan won could be vacated. Now, you don't have to worry about the TCU game from last year. Too easy? Too soon? You don't have to worry about the national championship either. You got rocked in that one, apparently, no matter how much you did. Look, I want to just say, again, your arch rival, Ohio State, I saw this firsthand, how paranoid they are, okay? And you're doing this stuff, allegedly? I don't understand I don't understand how you're going to do something and you're not good at it. Like, it's not worth this risk. And, Jim Harbaugh we've seen over time, try to be too clever by half with some of this stuff, having the recruiting camps in other people's states. It just go do it, and do it better than everybody else. You don't have to do all this other, crazy town stuff. But if you're going to do the crazy town, at least don't get caught. At least don't get caught. That's my biggest thing right here, is if you're going to cheat, all right, part of that is college athletics. But if you're going to cheat, don't get caught. What are you doing? It takes away from everything. Now everybody at Michigan is going to get painted with a broad brush about this. And this is a university that has had one of the biggest, the Fab Five we're pulling banners down, y'all. So for a university that in my lifetime has won, one national championship in any major sport, which was sharing it in 1998 with Nebraska, this is a bad look. And this is not the way that you're going to want to go into a season where Michigan totally could win the national championship. And this is just, I don't know why you're doing stuff when you're not good at it. Now, the odds, so Michigan had sort of caught Georgia in playoff in terms of national championship odds. Now it's receding some. That is crazy the way that this is. But everybody knows that this is a sort of stupid distraction that you do not need if you're the Michigan Wolverines. Be better.